Picture this, a tiny apartment in New York City. It's the 1930s. A 5-year-old girl steps off a boat from Puerto Rico, and within a few years, she's dancing in nightclubs for grown men who tip her in pennies and stare a little too long. Her name isn't even Rita Moreno yet. It's Rosita Dolores Alvario. Nobody in that room could have guessed that this child would one day become one of the rarest human beings on Earth, a member of a club so small you can count it on 2 hands. But we'll get there. First, we have to talk about Hollywood. And Hollywood, my friends, was not kind. Here's the darkly funny part. When Rita Moreno arrived in Hollywood in the 1950s, the studios looked at her beautiful, talented, magnetic, and thought, great. Let's put her in a coconut bra. She spent years being cast as the ethnic girl, not Puerto Rican, not specifically anything, just generically exotic. One decade, she's an Egyptian princess. Next decade, a Polynesian island girl. Then, a Native American. Directors literally darkened her skin with makeup to play whatever brown-skinned character the script demanded that week. She once said Hollywood only saw one type of role for her, and it wasn't a compliment. It was a costume they kept forcing her back into. Imagine spending years of your life being professionally beautiful in a country that refuses to ask your actual name. And behind the cameras, it gets worse. This is the part of the story people don't put in the highlight reels. Rita had a years-long, deeply painful relationship with Marlon Brando. Yes, that Marlon Brando. One that left her so devastated that she attempted to take her own life. Let that sit for a second. One of the most dazzling talents of her generation, standing at the edge of everything, nearly extinguished by heartbreak the industry never talked about. This is the eerie truth about fame in that era. The brighter the spotlight, the darker the shadows behind it. But here's the thing about Rita Moreno. She does not stay down. Ever. West Side Story. She plays Anita, fierce, proud, electric, and she wins the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. She becomes the first Latina to win an Oscar for acting. Her entire speech? 6 words. I can't believe it. Thank you. Shortest Oscar speech in history, and honestly, iconic. And then plot twist, she doesn't get flooded with offers. She gets offered coconut bras again. So she says no. For 7 years. She walks away from film entirely rather than keep playing the same tired stereotype on repeat. Try to imagine that kind of nerve in an industry that runs on desperation. This is where her story stops being an American story and becomes a global one. Because Rita didn't just conquer film. She went and won everything else too. A Grammy for a children's album. A Tony for Broadway, multiple Emmys for television. She became one of the vanishingly small number of people on the entire planet to complete the EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. As of right now, fewer than 20 people in history have done it. Ever? In any language, in any country. Think about that scale. Somewhere in Manila, someone's watching West Side Story on a scratchy old broadcast. Somewhere in Lagos, someone's binge-watching one day at a time and seeing their own grandmother in her performance. Somewhere in Seoul, a kid stumbles onto a Rita Moreno interview at 2 a.m. and can't look away. That's not an American icon. That's a planetary one. Here's a genuinely eerie little detail for you. Rita Moreno is right now the last surviving principal cast member of Singin' in the Rain, one of the most beloved musicals ever made. Everyone else who danced and sang and splashed through those puddles in 1952? Well, she's the last one standing, the final living thread connecting us to that entire golden era world. When she talks about making that film, she's not reminiscing. She's basically the last witness to a civilization. There's something almost ghost story about that, isn't there? One woman walking around in the present day, carrying an entire vanished Hollywood era inside her like a secret. But don't get too somber, because Rita Moreno's sense of humor is razor sharp well into her 90s. She's the kind of guest who shows up on a talk show and outjokes the host. She played Marta in the One Day at a Time reboot, a fabulous, chaotic grandmother, basically playing a heightened version of herself, and it landed her right back in the cultural conversation with an entirely new generation who had zero idea who Anita even was. She showed up in Fast X. She showed up in a Tom Brady comedy, an age when most people are being handed a cane. She was out here doing action comedy set pieces and stealing scenes from movie stars 60 years younger than her. That's not longevity. That's spite in the best possible sense. That's a woman who looked at every door. Hollywood tried to close on her and just kept finding another one. So here's the strange, beautiful shape of this story. A little girl steps off a boat with nothing, gets typecast, underestimated, heartbroken almost to death. And instead of vanishing quietly the way the industry expected her to, the way it expected so many women like her to, she becomes one of the most decorated performers who has ever lived. She becomes the last woman standing from a golden age nobody else survived to describe firsthand. And somewhere tonight, in 100 different countries, in 100 different languages, somebody is watching Anita snap her fingers in a New York City alley or watching a nightclub scene from 1952. And they have no idea they're watching a living ghost of cinema who is, at this very moment, still very much out there, still working, still funny, still absolutely refusing to disappear. That's Rita Moreno, not just a girl who decided to go for it, the girl who never ever stopped.